Okay, so we are going to start our lecture on the class 8 first topic, that is life process transport of the food and minerals in animal and plant. Okay, it is the first chapter of class 8 and please pay attention on all the topics that we are going to discuss and make the notes as required in the classwork notebook. Okay, so the topic is transportation. So in the transportation, what is are the things that we are going to transport, even it is the plant or animal? It is food, required minerals and respiratory gases. In the case of animal, these food, minerals and the respiratory gases are going to be transported through blood, and this blood is moving throughout our body in a system known as circulatory system. The circulatory system, a rough diagram, a flowchart diagram can be seen as like this, that all the blood, all the oxygenated blood that is coming, oxygen is coming from the lungs to the blood. Okay, so this oxygenated blood moves to our body through the artery. This artery then send all the blood to these capillaries. Capillaries are very fine, thin, tube-like structures. Okay, these capillaries are adjusted or is linked with all the body cells. I hope the cell word is clear to you all. So it is linked with our body cells. These capillary give all the oxygen and the food material to these cells where the oxidation of the food occurs, and then all the deoxygenated blood and all the waste material come back to our veins, and then it moves to the heart for the purification. Okay, then blood transports what are the things that we have discussed? It is the food, it is the minerals and the respiratory gases. Okay, then the next point comes that blood moves in what? That is the blood vessels. Blood vessels are what? Arteries, veins and capillaries. Arteries carries what? Oxygenated blood. It carries oxygen. Veins will carry what? Carbon dioxide rich blood, or it is known as deoxygenated blood. And capillaries are the very thin tube like structure which is linked to the arteries and the veins both, and it is the mediator. It will take the oxygen rich blood, it will send it to the cell, and then what will happen? It will cell will do the cellular respiration, and all the deoxygenated blood and the waste material will come back to the capillary will send it to the veins, and finally these veins are going to send these deoxygenated blood and the waste material to the heart or the kidney. Okay, so blood is, now we are going to read in detail. The blood is made up of the two things. One is cellular component and then is the fluid components. Cellular means it is made up of the cell. Okay, and fluid component is that it is fluid, it is not having any cell. Okay, RBC, WBC and platelets, these all are the cellular component. What are they? They are the cellular components. Okay, blood plasma is the fluid component and it makes up 55% of our total blood. Till here any problem? Then you will ask on the group. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the RBC, WBC and platelet in the detail. RBC is not having any nucleus. Its lifespan is of 120 days. It is red in color because there is the presence of hemoglobin. Heme means iron. Due to the presence of heme group, so it is red in color. And where it is produced, some white, some place it should be produced, some factory, so it is produced in the bone marrow. Okay, the function of the RBC is transportation. Transportation of what? Food, then respiratory gases and even the waste. Waste can be the gases also, waste can be the any liquid, urea, uric acid, all is being transported through this RBC only. Okay, now the WBC. WBC is again of two type. it is granulocytes, and the E granulocyte, it is bigger in the comparison with the RBC, and its lifespan is also varying between few months to year. Okay, granulocytes are those components of the WBC where the cytoplasm, you might have studied about the cell, and cytoplasm word is very clear to you. So cytoplasm is having some granules in it. Okay, so according to these two features, that is granulocyte and agranulocyte, so it is further divided into granulocyte is of three types: neutrophil, basophil and eosinophil. Okay, and agranulocyte is of again of two types, that is monocyte and lymphocytes. Okay, it is not given in the detail in your syllabus. We will study about its detailed structure in class 10th. The function of the WBC is that it is protecting our body from the it creates the immune system, it creates the antibody, any antigen that is visiting our body, so it will create the antibody and it will help us to fight against numbers of the disease. Okay, platelets is the last and very small structure found in the blood, and its lifespan is also very small. It's vary from 8 to 40 days. The function of the platelet is it helps in clotting. The clotting of blood is very important, so it helps in clotting. If the platelet is less in our body, we will suffer from the disease known as hemophilia. Okay, hemophilia is a disease where the blood once started bleeding with any cut, any wound, so it is not going to stop, it will not going to clot. So what will happen, our body is only having 5 liters of the blood, so all can be, we can't afford such a great loss of the blood from our body. Okay, so this hemophilia disease is also known as bleeder's disease, or it is also known as royal disease, because in England the royal family is suffering from this disease. Okay, when we are discussing about the WBC, it is very good to explain about the blood group. So everyone know that there are 4 blood group: A, B, AB and O. Antigen, here we have studied about antibody. Antibody is present in WBC, it is present in WBC. Antigen is present in on RBC, not in, it is present on RBC. Okay, when we are having a blood group of A, we are having antigen A, but our WBC is having the antibody of B. Okay, when our blood group is B, we are having the antigen of B, but antibody of A. AB both, and antibody none is on WBC. Okay, when we are talking about O, it's that we are not having any antigen on our RBC, only we are having the AB antibody. Clear? See children, it is said that in this blood group AB is universal recipient. That means it is going to accept all the blood groups. It can accept A, it can accept B, it can accept AB and even O. Recipient, taking. Okay, O. It is universal donor. That means it can donate. Why it can donate? Because it is not having any antigen on the RBC to resist. Okay, we will study about in senior classes in class 9th and 10th. Okay, so I hope the anti-blood group and why it is universal recipient, why it is universal donor is clear to you all. Okay, any confusion regarding this topic, you can ask and we will explain further in the videos. Okay, this is a flow diagram of how our circulatory system is working. See, here heart is at the middle, at the up is the lungs. Here we are going, so lungs are going to give what oxygenated blood. Oxygenated blood to what? Our heart. Okay, then heart, what it is going to do? It is going to pump this oxygenated blood through our artery to capillaries. Capillaries are attached to our body cells. There are numbers of cells in our body, so these capillaries are attached to each and every cells. So what is going to happen? So all the oxygenated blood and such blood which is rich in food, nutrients that you all have studied in your junior classes, what are the different kinds of nutrients? So it will reach to each and every body cells. Now the cells are having oxygen and the food even. Okay, so they will use it. Cellular respiration will go on, that is food will break down, carbon dioxide is going to be produced. Okay, after that it have to be removed from the cells. So these veins, capillaries are going to give these veins all the deoxygenated food and the waste material, and it will move back to our heart. Clear? When it is moving to the heart cannot keep it. It cannot remove the carbon dioxide. So it have to move back to our lungs, where this purification of the carbon dioxide will move out of our body and oxygen will be absorbed. Detail of this, how the respiration goes on, we will read in the respiration chapter. Okay. So let's have a view on this diagram. It is the diagram of our heart. Okay, see, our heart is of 4-chambered. 2 ventricles, right ventricles and left ventricle, and atrium or aorta, whatever. So 2. Whatever blood is coming inside our body through the main veins, it will move. All the deoxygenated blood is moving inside our body. It will come to the right atrium, then it will move to the right ventricle. At the middle there is the valve. Valve are such structure which stops some special kind of movement. See, the blood is going to flow inside the right ventricle, but it is unidirectional, so it will not move against back to the right atrium. Okay, then from here it can move only in the one direction, and it will come to this pulmonary arteries, which is going to the lungs. Okay, so in the detail there is nothing, but you have to understand that heart is 4-chambered. It is divided into the right ventricle and left ventricle, right atrium and the left atrium, and its function is to purify the blood. So first the main vein or the vena cava is giving the deoxygenated blood to the right atrium, and it moves back to the right ventricle. Then it moves through the pulmonary artery to the lungs, and similarly the process goes on, and due to the contraction this blood is being pumped. So it was all about the circulatory system in human beings, how the circulatory system is going, and very small detail is given about the transport system in the plant. Okay, so we will cover this portion also. We know that plant is divided into 2 systems, shoot system and the root system. In the root system there is the one main primary root we have studied in class 6th. Okay, primary root or the main root is divided into the primary, secondary, tertiary, but there is the one feature or the root cap. Here is the root cap, that is known as root hairs. So transport, what will be transport? Water and food, and water is transported in the plant through the root hairs. So root hairs absorbs the water and minerals from the soil and send it to the leaf. Okay, so how this process is going on? It is due to the xylem. Xylem is, we have studied in the tissue chapter in class 7 that there are 2 kinds of tissue, simple tissue and complex tissue, and xylem and phloem was one of them. That the xylem and phloem were the complex tissue. Okay, so this xylem is responsible for conduction of the water, that is essence of sap. Okay, this water will move against the gravity to the shoot till the each and every leaves. Okay, So how does it occurs? It occurs due to the transpiration. Transpiration word is also clear to you. Transpiration is that process by which the plant loses the water from the aerial part or maximum the green parts through the stomata. Okay, and here they are absorbing, the root hairs are absorbing the water. So there is the suction pull. Suction pull can be understood in this manner, children, that have you enjoyed fruity and all with the pipe? So when we pull from the top, then what happened? The liquid or whatever you are enjoying, the fruity, is moving from the bottom of the bottle. So when the transpiration is going on here, so whatever process is going on, the absorption, continuous absorption of water is going on here. So it is, this whole process is known as suction pull. It is absorbing or sucking the water from the, it is a continuous process, it goes lifelong. This is the continuous process, it goes lifelong. Xylem is unidirectional, that means water will lifelong move to the one direction. Okay, so xylem cells are maximum dead cells. Okay, and food is being conducted with phloem, that means the leaves are going to prepare the food by the process of photosynthesis. Now this food is going to be conducted to the different parts of the plant, because each and every part requires the energy to do work. So each and every part of the plant requires energy, so they requires food. So phloem moves everywhere, so it is bidirectional, that means it is going to move to each and every part. Okay, so though it is not in the detail in your syllabus, but we are discussing the different components that you have already studied in class 7. Xylem vessels, trachea, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. These are the 4 components of the xylem tissue. Phloem, it is sieve tube, companion tube, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. This is also, most of the xylem cells are dead. Only the xylem parenchyma is a living. Okay, because its function is just to conduct the water. So if there is a living cells, so what will happen? They will absorb the water, they will use it. So to avoid such kind of chaos in the system, so most of them are what they are dead or non-living cells. Or in the phloem, most of them are living. Okay, except this phloem fibers. So this is all about the chapter 1, transportation of the food and minerals. I hope the topic is clear to you, and we will discuss about the homeworks and the classwork on the group. Thank you.